Welcome everyone to the What's Left podcast. John here with Jake and Brad. We are the punk rock garage band of podcast, adding our voice of resistance as loudly as we can here on the Derealization Nation Media Network. Fellas, there's a lot to get to today. Of course, the president has kidnapped the leader of Venezuela and is threatening Greenland. Is worried about getting impeached. Literally babbles his way through a weird ass speech that was almost completely unintelligible. But before we get to any of it, I'd just like to remind you guys, please like and subscribe if you haven't done it already. And thank you so much to all the people who have. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible to see the response and the growth in the derealization nation. And that's all because of you guys, man. And with this stuff we say, like I make this point again and again, like this isn't getting into the algorithm by itself. This is not popular. This is not going along with the grain. This isn't MAGA coded. This isn't going to get out there unless you guys do it, and it's getting out there, and that means y'all are doing it. So we thank you for that. Um, all right. Let's start with the start. Today is, as we record, January the 6th. It'll be the 7th when this video drops, but January the 6th is a day that is a day of warring uh narratives. The Democrats held a shadow hearing in Congress today to remind people of what actually happened. It got very little traction. The As did the JJ Sixers who showed up at the Capitol to have some sort of barbecue weird cookout thing where they decided that it would be a good idea to uh, mark this anniversary by yelling slurs at cops and bragging about their pardons from Donald Trump. Also, they marched as well, very incoherently, very diverse crowd as you might imagine. Um, yeah, so that's where we're at. But the I think the worst part about it is what happened on the White House website. Jake, you can go ahead and put up that clip for everyone to see, please. All right. So this is the actual White House website. Uh, and this is literally rewriting the history of January 6th. It says that President Trump corrected historic wrong. It blames the Capitol Police and Nancy Pelosi for escalating tensions. Um, it says that because the Capitol Police aggressively fired tear gas, flashbangs, and rubber munitions into the crowd of peaceful protesters, entering many deliberately escalating tensions. And I just need to pause on that real quick because with everything that's going on with ICE all over the fucking country, that is exactly what the fuck they are doing. The audacity. I'm gonna run through these real quick though, so just try to keep those in mind. Put a pin in it. We're coming back to it. Mike Pence refusing to act. Mike Pence refusing to engage in treason is what it should say. Um, Again, blaming Nancy Pelosi. Jake, there's one more about Ashley Babbitt, I think. Basically saying that Ashley Babbitt is some kind of goddamn martyr um, because she got shot by a cop while she was literally in the middle of a riot. Um, there are children, black children, who get shot in the back for nothing at all. But yes, let's talk about how Ashley Babbitt murdered in cold blood is how it's put. She says no weapon was found on her. She had a knife, um, and was threatening cops. I mean, so a lot of these things, the whole thing is lies. It also says that the 2020 election was stolen from Donald Trump. Denies the election results. Jake, I have one more slide. I forget what it is, but let's put that up there before we discuss. And I mean, all of the uh, bullshit about Nancy Pelosi being able to use the National Guard and not doing it, about Mike Pence not having the courage. All right, and just a reminder that that piece of shit Charlie Kirk, uh, and his Turning Point USA, this is what they're again, the things that they accuse people of. This is what they do. They bust people in, he says. They bust people in, they're putting them up at hotels, yada, yada, yada. Well, it was fucking TPUSA who was doing that. TPUSA, this is a flyer for January 6th. inviting people out for a free bus ride and a complimentary hotel to go out and storm the Capitol. Uh, Charlie Kirk's tweet at the time said this historical event will likely be one of the largest and most consequential in American history. The team at Trump Students and Turning Point Action are honored to help make this happen, sending 80 plus buses full of patriots to DC to fight for this president. So that's a reminder of that's what the little contrast of what Trump wants you to believe uh, and what reality is. Let's go around the horn and just reaction to the audacity of the White House and memories of what actually happened.
I know that they were just tear gassing people dressed in inflatable dinosaur costumes in Portland, because they were out of control.
Yeah,
Mind you, they were dancing around in inflatable dinosaur costumes, and this administration said tear gas them. And now they're like, oh, the Capitol Police were inciting a riot by tear gassing people that were trying to storm the U.S. Capitol building.
yeah, fucking
That's
unbelievable.
insane. They're, oh,
We all
go ahead.
watched it live on TV. It's the most documented crime in American history. I mean, there's a trillion camera angles. It goes on for hours. It was on the news. I was in the workout room in prison when I started watching it. It started happening. Jake, where were you?
Um,
Work, probably.
Work probably. I don't know if it's like the exact spot, but I remember like I think I first saw it on Twitter and I saw the video of the people smoking weed in the office and then them pushing over all the media cameras and just blatantly destroying vandalism. So many crimes just being committed in about like 30 seconds.
Yeah,
Insane.
yeah.
Yeah.
Any
Mhm.
clip of it will show it. The context makes it worse. The longer you watch it, the worse it becomes. Um, well, I have a question is though, because again, I was in prison at the time. On the outside, like how much of the January 6th committee stuff what actually made it through? Like how much broke through? Like when they did the January 6th committee and they brought all that evidence and did all that work. It was like the middle of the morning. Like it was hard for me to watch it in prison. I really didn't get a chance to see much of it at all. How much of it like really broke through? Like the algorithm was on your socials. What did it look like?
Not, the actual J6 committee, not the insurrection itself.
Yes, the committee.
Yeah, nothing at all.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Nothing.
I suspected as much. You know what I mean? Like I suspected even at the time I was like this is exceedingly long and a really bad time of day and nobody watches cable news. So like I don't even like like even though I wasn't like in prison forever, like I knew that like you needed shorter videos and clips and things that like were, digestible and it's great. Like it's a complete documentation of all of the bullshit that happened that day. But it just didn't seem like an effective way to message. Not nearly as effective as Trump lying over and over and over again. And just the way that the Republicans flipped back and forth. I mean, every last one of them condemned it on the day of because they had all shit their pants when it happened. But 10 minutes later, a couple of days later, everybody's changed their mind already, you know?
His supporters were calling for the hanging of his vice president for certifying the election results.
Yeah, they had a noose and everything. They were chanting it. You know what I mean? So like to say like, oh, that wasn't what they were. They weren't serious. The fucking bullshit. They weren't. You know what I mean? And Trump, when he found out, like he instigated it. We know all this now. We have known all of it, but it has been reiterated over and over again. And then we just had the Jack Smith tapes, guys, where Jack Smith just sat down for that deposition. They tried to hide by dropping it on New Year's Eve. And he said, beyond the shadow of a reasonable doubt, Donald Trump is the main reason, instigator, and beneficiary of January 6th rioting. And then he pardoned them all. 1,500 people on his first day in office.
Yeah, all those FBI agents that Trump supporters say were in the crowd creating the riot themselves, creating the insurrection. Trump pardoned them all.
Yep, every last one of them. And a lot of them have reoffended. And Jake, you'll never guess what for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Child
It's
sex
funny because
crimes,
it's
of
sad.
course. Yeah,
Funny because
it's
it's sad.
pathetic. It's pathetic. Not all are child sex crimes, but a significant percentage of the reoffenders have reoffended sex crimes and had already offended that way. Like they had already had charges. These were people, the people who follow this are not, they're not necessarily the best and the brightest or the best. Like they're, I mean, deplorable was a nice word. I'd really like, it was probably the nicest thing that people could think to say about people like this. I'm just gonna play this video real quick. This is just, and don't feel free to like talk over it if you want because there's really no sound. But this is just a video of what the memorial service looked like today, calling the uh, DC prison a gulag, which just means prison. Uh, Watch this here, athletes. Um, yep, nice. Drop the banner. I mean, these people. I don't know what to say about the fact that all after all this time, after all this evidence of the president and being involved with Jeffrey Epstein and having lied to them, they still show up for this?
I saw the QAnon shaman or QAnon shaman
Yeah.
did an interview. Trump pardoned him,
Hmm.
and they asked him, "Do you still support Trump?" And he said, "Hell no,"
Yeah.
which is hilarious because he was like a figurehead of that.
Yeah.
This
He's
guy
the
just a
dude.
41 month.
That's the dude in
Yeah,
the big buffalo hat.
the headwear. Yep,
Yep.
exactly. Yep.
Headgear
That's the
guy.
41 months. Yeah, Trump pardoned him, and then they played in his face about the Epstein files and lost all his support.
And I mean, as they should lose all of that support.
It was good to only see 80 mouth breathers there at that march today.
Yeah.
That's great numbers, Trump. There's no way he won the election. It's a lie. I don't care. I don't like to be conspiracies about election, but he didn't win the election.
Yeah, I don't I still haven't seen the evidence that I think, but I don't know. I won't dismiss it. I mean, they definitely, like I said, everything that they said about that they did. You know what I mean? So the buses, all that stuff. So God knows if there was a way, he would have tried it for sure. Like there's nothing that he won't do. People will be like, well, Butler, and it's a good argument too. Like, those guys really died. Like, those people in Butler really died. But then, like, you see how evil this person is and the rape of Katie Johnson and everything else, all these allegations that come out. It's just horrible. Just the fact that he fed girls to this sex monster after he knew he was a sex monster is enough to make you think, you know what? He might just go ahead and shoot somebody to stay out of prison, you know? And he probably did, have Jeffrey Epstein killed. It's almost, it's certainly not outside the realm of possibility for this guy who is clearly some kind of motherfucking monster.
Yeah,
Let's go to the other thing that he's doing. Let's go to Venezuela. So Venezuela and Greenland now they've have confirmed they have not ruled out the military in Greenland. They're either buying it or invading it, and that's the way it goes. This is a defenseless country essentially. Like it is beyond the pale to think that we would do anything like that. Jake, give me Donald Trump's screed first on Venezuelan oil that we are stealing, or he's stealing. So yada yada yada, 30 to 50 million barrels of high quality sanctioned oil. Oil from Venezuela is not high quality. It needs serious refinement. It's sulfuric and really only good for asphalt and jet fuel. The oil will be sold at its market price, and that money will be controlled by me as President of the United States of America. In what motherfucking world? To be sure that it is used to the benefit of the people of Venezuela and the United States. Nobody believes this man. You could take it down, Jake. That's enough of his garbage. Nobody believes that this man cares a fuck about the Venezuelan people or the people of the United States. Like, nobody believes that. And he hasn't even believed that. This is the first time he's mentioned anything outside of the oil, and it was only then in the context of oil. Like, and just so you know, like, he's keeping the money personally. I mean, this is fucking batshit crazy. But don't you worry, Chuck Schumer is uh he's concerned. He's deeply disappointed in the way that the Republicans, he was deeply disappointed by the briefing he had today, and deeply disappointed that they'd said they would not commit to not invading Cuba or Colombia. So, that ought to stop it. That ought to hold.
And then that rat thinks weasel Stephen Miller
Yeah.
basically did an interview and said, "It's not war. We're just taking it.
Yeah.
That's what we are. We're a superpower. We're going to take it. There will be no war."
Yeah.
That's what he said about everything. We're taking it. We are a superpower, and we will take it.
It's it's mind-boggling to me. It is not just them. It is the complicity of the media in all of this. Like 80 people were killed in that raid. About 100 people have been killed just in the bombings of these boats. Uh, there was bombs. This is an act of war. If that happened in the United States, there's no gray area where we'd be like, well, this was a police operation that Libya tried to carry out to attempt to kidnap the president of. It wouldn't even matter if it wasn't the president of the United States, but like if they tried to kidnap the former president of Blockbuster, if they did all that damage to the United States and killed 80 Americans, the United States Army would firebomb the entire country the very next minute.
Dude, we turned Iraq into a parking lot.
Yeah, for no reason. But I mean, at least like George Bush had like the revenge, like they tried to kill my dad. Trump doesn't even have that. Trump's what's Trump's excuses? Well, Trump's first excuse is, well, even though she dedicated her peace prize to him, she didn't give it to him. So the person who won the peace prize should have given him the peace prize. That is insane toddler behavior. That's insane.
Yeah.
You wouldn't let a child act that way. And there's his other reason. Oh, let me get the sound. Unfortunately, you do have to listen to him this one time. It wouldn't make you do it if it wasn't important.
And, he's a violent guy. He gets up there and he tries to imitate my dance a little bit. But he's a violent guy.
The lyrics are "No Crazy Wars." Um, so Trump also, it has been reported that is one of his other reasons for going in and getting Maduro.
Oh,
And you know,
disarms me.
and when you think about how very little planning there is, and the fact they left the same exact regime in place, like the only thing they took was him and his wife. Every other person in government is still there. Like they just changed absolutely nothing about the government of Venezuela, because its president did a dance, and also the Nobel Peace Prize and oil. And likely too, because President Putin has been trying to get him to do this since 2019. That's been pretty well widely reported as well. He's been pushing for this multipolar world where he basically pushes the United States away from Europe and back into the Western Hemisphere to go fuck with Greenland and Cuba and Colombia, so that U.S. forces are far, far away from Europe, which pretty good if you're Russia.
Yeah, pretty ideal scenario for China and Russia.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Jake, was the dancing that bad? Like invasion bad?
I'm just so embarrassed. Like I'm so embarrassed.
I think that is the appropriate
Like
response.
I don't want to travel abroad for another several years because I am so embarrassed.
Yeah, I forget who was saying it. Was like they're like got off the plane in Canada and they're like, I'm so sorry.
I'm so
Like,
sorry.
and truly though, like truly, like so fucking sorry. This
I have
is
a child running the country.
Yeah, an absolute toddler. And the media is only pushing back because they didn't do a real regime change. They're like, excuse me, you only got the one guy. Like that's their
Right.
only pushback all weekend was, "Oh, well, what about the rest of them?
Well, they got his wife.
Yeah, who's glad you mentioned the brains of the operation. That's how they put it. She's the brains, he's the brawn. Get the fuck all the way out of here.
Yeah, so it's not actually about stopping a dictator because when Maduro was kidnapped, they just put his vice president in power.
Exactly.
And it's
Exactly.
not, nothing changed. Now the people are just under a different dictator. I don't who was part of the same regime. And then they say he's a narco terrorist, and our Justice Department has said that the cartel that he was the head of is made up. It doesn't even exist.
Oh
Not a
yeah,
real
yeah. I
thing.
forgot about the Cartel de Sols.
Not a real thing. Yeah.
Requiescam
That's
in
what our own
pacem.
Justice Department has said.
Yeah.
So
Adios.
now it's not about the drugs either. So let's go back to the root of everything, and it's the oil.
It's
This was
it's
for oil companies. That's all it's for.
it's all it's for. It's literally so it's for the what there's one specific billionaire who buys uh debt from different countries, including Venezuela. And Venezuela it went had no went bankrupt, could not went into default, and so as an asset he received the company Chevron. And so basically, we are restoring Chevron money. Like when he talks about the oil that was stolen, like he's talking about like this American company getting paid back their money. And he's also, guys, this is the fucking best part for me. Best part. Are you fucking ready for this? I don't think you are. Uh, no company wants to spend $100 billion rebuilding the infrastructure of Venezuela. Um, but Trump says, don't worry, taxpayers got this. The American taxpayer will reimburse the oil companies for doing it. I want you to
Mhm.
look, I want the next time you hit a pothole, I want you to remember that he canceled infrastructure plans in your state so that he could build oil rigs in Venezuela.
For big oil companies.
Right.
And Chevron, imagine this, John. Chevron went up 6% the next day.
You don't say, Brad, you were right on the nail with the prediction on the market. The market loved it so much, had quite a day the day after. Just tra la 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 through the weeds. They
Because we
just,
love war. We love it.
God damn it, do we love war? God,
Call it whatever you want. If bombs are falling, the economy loves it.
that's the truth. All right, and Greenland's next, or Colombia, Cuba, they're all on the table. Um, all right, let's take a quick break. Jake, let's we don't have any corporate sponsors because we don't fucking want them. We don't do any ad reads because fuck that too. We are uh completely self-supporting. And uh we do like to use that time that would ordinarily be given to a business to support their company to tell you to go fuck this company. So today's company to go fuck themselves is Starbucks. Starbucks didn't just build a coffee empire, they built a bank with $10 billion of your money. Most people think Starbucks say it's lattes. In reality, they engineered one of the largest interest-free banking systems in America, funded quietly by customers who have no idea, and here's how they did it. This was so wild to me. So, coffee shop on the outside, financial institution behind the scenes. The modern business world is blurry. Companies don't just stick to one lane anymore, and Starbucks stepped into a lane nobody expected, which is banking. The secret weapon, the Starbucks rewards, launched in 2009. Looks like a simple punch card reward system, but behind the friendly UI is a brilliant financial engine. So customers preload money onto the app. Starbucks instantly receives the cash. You receive the stars, which is a digital currency inside the app. You redeem the stars for drinks. But here's the twist. I think you can see the twist coming. Where you load the money, Starbucks invests it. And then, so while that $20, $50 sits in your account waiting for your latte, the Starbucks is busy investing your funds, earning interest, using your cash flow to finance operations, and they pay you nothing for holding on to your money. Not a goddamn dime. So basically, it is an interest-free loan. 25 million people preload money. Billions flow into Starbucks system every year. They use it, they invest it, they profit from it, and you get a free drink after 10 stars. Not right away, of course. That would be crazy.
It's 150 stars.
It's 150 stars?
150 stars for any size drink
Well,
or
they gotta make a profit. You know what I mean? They gotta make money somewhere. So that scale is even more absurd than what this app reported, apparently. It's about 15 times more absurd than what that just said. So 29 million members of the Starbucks Rewards program. That's 10 $1, 2, 3, 4 billion loaded per year. 155 million per year from forgotten balances alone. So that money they just get to keep. Like that's just money you leave on your card, a couple of cents, pennies here and there. That money adds up to $155 million per year. If they were a bank, they would rank in the top 2% of banks by deposits. The top 2% of banks by deposits. That's a coffee chain holding more prepaid deposits than almost every bank in America. Isn't that fucking wild?
That is an astonishing number. I know that we're going to break, but that's an astonishing number.
Yeah, that's all right. We can to tear down a fucking corporate institution. We could take our time. So the crazy, so that we talked about this. You forget your card, you lose it, yada yada. 155 million. That's all pure profit. Go to the next slide, Jake. That's redundant. Here's some other companies that do it though: Apple, Amazon, Walmart, Target, Costco. Everyone wants to become a bank without being regulated like one. And the regulations that existed, even the light ones that we did have in this country, are now being torn even further apart. And this is true also of big tech companies. And I'm going off script here, but like X's big thing, Elon's big thing is trying to get X currency as well as try to make that into a bank. So they all want to be a financial institution. Meta, Zuck, Elon, all of them. Uh, but so yeah, the one thing you can do though is fuck that Starbucks and fuck that rewards card and don't buy into their systems if you don't have to. And I understand it is difficult, but to the extent that we can, we have to use every lever at our disposal. So fuck Starbucks, and we'll be back. Welcome back. What's Left podcast. John, Jake, and Brad, Derealization Nation Media Network. If you haven't done it already, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our shit. Or if you subscribe on Substack, you get email first and first access to all of our shows. It's free, but you can do the paid subscription, which really helps us out. If you jump on and give us a year subscription, I'm going to start making a drive for that because we really need to raise some funds for a little bit of equipment upgrades here and there. Some stuff's falling apart. So if you can't help out with like a paid subscription by month, it's like $5 or a yearly subscription. We'd really appreciate it. Uh, but either way, we'll continue to bring you all this content for free. That is how we plan to do it. All right, guys. Donald Trump. We played a little bit of his rambling, incoherent, babbling speech, like worse than usual. Most of it was like animal noises and fart sounds. Uh, it really just unhinged, strange stuff. But I guess we'll call this newsworthy because, yeah, it's newsworthy. He said a lot of things, but this is one of the more important
We had the
ones.
worst president, did the worst job, they had the worst policy. We have to even run against these people. Now, I won't say cancel the election. They should cancel the election because the fake news will say, he wants the elections canceled. He's a dictator. They always call me a dictator. Nobody's worse than Obama.
Leave
What?
Obama's alone. They're just sitting at home with their family. God damn it.
Crazy,
I'm
man.
telling you, he has like centering buzzwords, and when he knows he's rambling, he'll be like, "Oh shit, pick a buzzword. Obama sucks."
Obama. Sleepy Joe. Sleepy Joe. He's
That's
always
it, dude.
sleeping. Yeah. Crooked Hillary. Yeah, it is true. Like he has to, and more and more too. I think he does get lost in the weave. He even talked about getting lost in the weave. It was seriously one of the most idiotic speeches he's ever given. But guys, how big a deal is it the Dementia Dawn over here decided to talk about canceling an election? Just because they always start off as jokes. Venezuela was a joke a couple months ago.
Hmm.
Uh, and here we are. So, I don't know.
Fortunately, he does mean what he says.
Exactly. It's just a
It's
matter
not,
of that's what I mean. Like it's a joke, but it's like just joking unless you're gonna do it. You know what I
right. He's
mean?
like, he tests the waters in a way. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
I
That's
might.
that's what everything is. He's right.
Yeah. Uh,
Well, how's this sound to you guys?
yeah, exactly.
He's
Yeah.
like pulling in real time.
He does do that too. Like he tests all. Like that's how he does his rallies. You know what I mean? He goes by crowd reaction. That's how he determined like last year that like immigration was the big thing because it got the biggest response at his rallies. Like he's like I'm gonna win because of immigration, and he was right. He was right. I mean, maybe not because of that, maybe also because of millions of billions of dollars. But whatever, whatever reason, racism, misogyny, refusal of there to be a party who decided that genocide was a bad idea, um, just saying fuck you to populists by promising to fire Lena Khan for Mark Cuban, running around with Liz Cheney, wasn't really like making anybody feel like you weren't about to go to war, so really played into their narrative.
It's in her blood, dude. There was no, like
Yeah,
it's part of the DNA.
for sure. She's a fucking Republican. I'm so sick of this. Like, we, we have to like that you're here because you fucked up your party, okay? Like that's like we need to start acknowledging that because everybody, all MSNBC is nothing but ex-Republicans. And that is considered far left media. The whole cast and crew are former Republican, like loser Republican like these are the people who like worked for Jeb fucking Bush and people you've never heard of before because they never made it past the fucking first half step of a primary. And these are the people who are out here like who get to push the narrative about what people want. They didn't know what the fucking Republicans want. They sure as hell don't know what Democratic voters want. But they are the ones out here telling everybody what's good. It's literally insane. Uh yeah, so as you could tell, I don't love that. Um, but yeah, I think we should take it at least a little bit seriously because yeah, I don't know. He's definitely going to try it, you know? And they're very desperate. They only released 0.001% of the Epstein files, basically. They came out and had to admit in court, which is where the stuff goes away. The cartel dos souls fell apart in court because in court you can't lie. Uh, and just like, well, you can, but it's called perjury, and you might get in trouble for it. Uh, but just like the cartel de souls fell apart, you also had the Epstein thing. Where the judge was like, okay, where are we at with these Epstein files? And demanded it, and they basically were like, we've released 112 1,200 files. 1,200 files, which is about the same amount of files that would have, according to most lawyers, for like a slip and fall case. Like that's what 1,200 files is. A case like this should have somewhere closer to 20 million files. Those 1,200 files have about 125,000 pages. It's a little more than 10 pages. I didn't do this math. Somebody did it for me. I'm just gonna be straight up. A little more than 10 pages per file. So there are so so many more files.
So many.
It's just crazy how desperate they are to cover this up.
We kidnapped the president of a whole other country before we've arrested anybody on the Epstein list.
That's wild as fuck, bro. It- how much money did it fucking cost to get out there and like I think it cost like $6 million to fire up an aircraft carrier, just to get it running for the day. And that's if you don't use it. So, I mean, this is just we're approaching $39 trillion in debt. We're over 38 and a half, approaching $39 trillion in debt. Um, that's like 2 trillion in less than a year. More than two. Going on three. That's that's crazy. But make sure we give some more tax cuts to billionaires. Oh my God, Jake, put this graphic up of all of the money that these billionaires have made. These people should be paying. There should be no billionaires to begin with. These are multi-billionaires. Eight of them. This is eight of them, according to The Guardian. Made up a quarter of the total net worth gains for the wealthiest 500 individuals in the world. Elon Musk plus $187 billion dollars. Larry Page plus 101, Bezos plus 14 and a half, Sergey Brin 91 92 billion basically. Larry Ellison 55.2, Mark Zuckerberg 26. These are billions, obviously. What else would they be? Bernard Arnault 31.6 and Steve Ballmer $21.9 billion. And this is why Trump can't understand why the people think the economy is bad, because the people that he aims to please are doing just fine.
Wasn't it 6 billion to end world hunger?
Yes.
I just like to throw that one out there all the time. 6 billion,
Yeah.
not even a percentage of their net worth.
Yeah. Adjusted for inflation, like let's call it like 12. Um,
Sure.
Yep.
but even at that number,
Less than 2% of
Hmm.
Elon Musk's net worth, and the church asked you for 10%.
yeah. Yeah. Something tells me that Elon does not tie the church. He does not tithe a certain church or any church. Um, unless of course he gets in a hole and has to avoid taxes. But since we don't bother to tax these people anyway, you know, what's he got? What's he got to do with religion? What's he need with God? You know?
Lauren, when we talked to him, had a really good point about just taxing the shit out of them, and it stops them from doing things like purchasing single family homes and that kind of stuff.
It did.
Like if you
Yeah,
just tax the hell out of them, it stops them from wanting to make all these profits because they're just paying it back to you anyway.
the blueprint is there. Like we had middle class prosperity with low poverty. The problem was is that it was racist as fuck and did not include everybody. So you fix that problem and you have 90 times the wealth that you had then anyway. So if you just go back to the breaking up of the monopoly corporations and taxing the wealthy and the corporations on every dollar like that, prosperity for everyone. And it has to be this way because housing prices are not coming back down without a major crash. Prices in general are not coming back down without a major crash. The only way to fix this is to tax the rich. It's literally, I mean, maybe there's an alternative way you could show me. I'm not the best chess player, but there is an easy, clear path to a checkmate here, and that is to tax the fucking rich. Like it is clear and obvious. The whole world can see it. You don't have to be a super fucking genius to realize that simply by taking some of the money that we give them and taxing it just a little bit to pay for the resources that they use and the wages they don't pay, we could have everything that we need. The whole world could be fine. But we can't have that because we have this instead. Jake, Unusual Whales dropped today the congressional gains reports from stock trading. So this is what it looks like. Guys, before we put it up, which party do you think won this year?
Shoo! Pelosi got some competition.
Pelosi got beat. Pelosi got beat
She got
by
whooped.
She got beat by
Mostly,
Swazi.
She got beat by 6, 7, 8, 9 people.
Yeah. Yeah, she had a down year for, well, not being speaker turns off a few levers for you. Not quite as many people are interested in what you got to say. Or, she's also 90, slowing down a little bit. And listen, here's this guy too. Like, you've never heard of this guy, David Ruzer. You know what I mean? So, like, clearly he's not doing politics because you've never heard of him. But you know what he is doing? He's he's making the 149% return on his stock value, or 149 change, 49% change in stock portfolio value over the course of 1 year. That's crazy
And
banana pants.
I think what I'm seeing there, that's actually the last year of Biden's term,
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
and they were just crushing it.
Crushing it. Debbie Schultz, Democrat from Florida. Now she is constantly on MSNBC with the Republicans and is very, very pro-Israel. Very, very pro-Israel, very pro-war. Um,
They make your money.
yep, absolutely. Ron Wyden is the very boring senator who has the very exciting idea of following the financial statements of Jeffrey Epstein. And we now see we now see why he's an expert on financial things. Here's a man who made 124% over the course of a year. Roger Williams, I'm pretty sure, is an old country singer whose albums you can find at any thrift store. Morgan McGarvey, I don't know that person either. And that I think that is probably one of the craziest parts of this. If you look up and down this list, there are maybe half of them are regular names that you would hear at any given point in time. So like their entire constituency is just being boned in favor of them paying attention to what the stock market, paying attention to the stock market.
Is Collins not the one Plattner's running against?
That is the one Plattner is running against. Nice year for Susan Collins. Concerning indeed.
Doing better
Uh,
than Nancy Pelosi, dude.
I
You
even
got to be nervous about anybody doing better than Pelosi in the market.
for sure. Listen, like if you had a D up Wizards Jordan and you shut him down, you still shut down Jordan. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. So Swazi, that's the other guy. So this guy is basically a Republican Democrat from New York. He's getting a lot of credit today for standing up to a January 6th rioter, which is good. But I'm gonna fuck it. I'm not gonna kiss his ass because he's getting paid well to do it. 62% return, even 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 like though like it's not 149%, that's still insane, 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 insane. 62% growth, I should say. Dan Crenshaw, who is just a regular piece of shit, also 62%. So yeah, just a taste of what your Congress people are doing instead of working, instead of providing health care, instead of taxing Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos. They are doing this. Thanks, Jake. We can take that one down. I'm tired of looking at it. There is legislation waiting that could prevent that. Speaker of the House, Jeffries, was against it at first and is being pushed by his party. Um, Hopefully he's just not the speaker when it happens. I can't stand the thought of trying to prosecute this with Jeffries and Schumer at the helm. It's just unreal. Jake, there's that one tweet from Venezuela way back. It's got like these are our rivals up in sort of, not really. We don't draw nearly the crowd they do. But there's another podcast that's up in Michigan. Some more white dudes. Uh, but they had a pretty funny tweet about the Democratic fight or lack thereof from a story from the New York Times talking about centrist Democrats and how they didn't want to look weak. So here it is. Complaining about not supporting violent foreign military intervention looks weak behind anonymity in the press is the most democratic thing I've ever seen. And that is the fucking truth. Um, the quote is, I think it looks weak. A third centrist Democrat, House Democrat said, if you don't acknowledge when there's a win for our country, you lose all credibility. You ain't got no goddamn credibility to lose, you delusional motherfuckers.
Dude, spineless. They're all just spineless, bro.
Yeah, that is core Democrat behavior right there.
That is the very right wing Democrats that we see every day.
Yeah. Yep. It's the MSNBC Democrats. It's the fucking, you know, the never Trump Republicans, basically, who now run the Democratic Party. All right, we're running out of time, but I want to get to one last thing. So Nick Shirley has caused a lot of problems. He has gotten funding shut down for 5 blue states. Um, if the funding that goes to like childcare, because of his lies, his videos that were fully debunked. So this feels good to watch. This is a Minnesota state senator, congressman, I don't know, in there within the state, um, giving him business.
How come you think fraud has been able to happen so much underneath
I think
the
if you've
government
been
here?
listening to our hearing.
Wait. Before she starts in on him, he can't even fucking speak. This is what MAGA wants you to believe is the height of journalism. Let's listen to the question one more time.
How come you think fraud has been able to happen so much underneath
I think
the
if you've
government
been
here?
listening to our hearings, we've had now 10 hearings on this. And so there's really good data from the people who both work within the administration as well as who both Democrat and Republicans. I think
Yes.
what you heard today is that the Republicans who control this committee are not actually interested in solving fraud. What they're interested in is telling a story.
This fraud has happened underneath Democrat leader Tim Walz.
Okay, that doesn't mean that he's the only one making decisions.
There has been Medicaid fraud across the country under Democrats and Republicans. There's fraud within the Trump administration. We have is fraud. Private providers have made government a mark. And so every person running government, Democrats or Republicans, are dealing with the issue of how to keep fraudsters out of our public payment. We're also dealing with veterans. We're dealing with consumers. I hope you're looking at that. If you look at United Health, currently is being charged with defrauding Medicare. You know who runs Medicare? President Trump. Medicaid fraud is a 50-state issue. And so, again, it is not a partisan issue. There are Democrats and Republicans who are sitting in that committee talking about it. But what you did here was the Republican chair say she's not turning information over to the one person in government who can stop payment. And I hope you print that.
That was a great answer.
Yeah. And he deserves so much more of that, but I just love that she like kept backing him into the door and into walls and shit. And he just kept retreating because he's a pussy ass bitch. Just a complete and utter bitch.
And you can tell he had no idea what she was saying because he kept looking at the camera like, what the hell did I do?
Yeah, he has no clue, dude.
No clue. He was
He
like,
feels like
what
he's
the
made
fuck?
it.
Yeah.
What there like 10 minutes of his video is him wandering through a medical plaza being mystified by the number of doctors in a medical plaza.
And he's also wearing a sweatshirt and fucking joggers to
Yeah.
appearing. Like the
Yeah.
disrespect.
Yeah, a regular Bob Woodward really fucking breaking the Watergate story there. Anything he's got
It's just hilarious to me that they don't mention the guy that Trump pardoned that's responsible for $1.2 billion in Medicare fraud.
Yeah. Or Rick Scott, who's currently sitting in the Senate as a senator from Florida, whose company defrauded Medicaid for billions of dollars. He pled the fifth a bunch of times and got away with it.
They don't actually care about it. They're just like, oh, smear campaign on Tim Walz.
They don't care that Ron DeSantis took Medicaid money, rediverted the funds into commercials going against the abortion initiative that the voters brought in Florida that lost by a single percentage. Like they defrauded all of the taxpayers to vote to advertise against the will of the taxpayers. And try to shut this thing down, and it barely failed. So it definitely made a difference. And they stole fucking Medicaid money. The only people who ever get caught for voter fraud are fucking Republicans. It's fucking Jack Posobiec, the MAGA podcaster who got caught cheating in an election. It's literally crazy. how much, like from the TPUSA thing, to just everything. Like they are projecting their own evil on everybody else and simultaneously telling on themselves every time.
Yeah. But what are you doing for the fraud underneath able to under the government?
He knows he's like allowed to write stuff down, right? Oh my God. I'm not sure he knows how to read. Um, yeah, that's our show, guys. Thanks for watching, listening. Thanks for being a big part of the Geolization Nation. Thanks for liking, subscribing. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything, or sign up on Substack to get the emails first. Got to get that first dibs. Everything is and always will be free. But again, I am asking guys, if you can, buy a t-shirt, derealizationnation.com. Sign up for the paid subscription on Substack. They got the monthly option. It's like $5, or the yearly option. It's something else, like maybe like 200 or something. I really don't know. I should know, but I don't. Who am I, right? Just out here, it's just my podcast and media company. What else should I know? Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. There are a couple new accounts coming your way as well. So be on the lookout for those. Until next time. Oh, and don't miss our interview coming up with Britt for Virginia, West Virginia, and uh,
So
Stephen Hill for Congress in California's 37th. That'll be the next two episodes. So keep an eye out for those as well. Should be two very exciting candidates to talk to. Can't wait to do it. Until next time, I'm John,
I'm Jake.
And I'm Brad.
and that's what's left.
If we would have hung the treasonous losers of the Confederacy instead of erecting statues for them, January 6th would have never happened.